Good morning. Hope everyone's doing well today. Morning, Goku. This is pretty insane. DFNS went all the way to $100 almost the other day. That's pretty crazy. Starting from 4 on the 24th, going all the way up to 96. Almost 1,000%. I guess it makes sense. Defense, during this time when we're unsure what's happening with the war. Morning, Jordan. SNDQ, really choppy, but continuing to grind higher, up 1,200%. Excuse me. We don't have too much to watch this morning. We have Nui, their second leading gainer, up over 100%, in the price range that I like to trade. Gapping up quite a bit today. Made a big push after hours. That after hours high level there that it's popped up and couldn't hold. Morning, Lauren. So this is really the only thing on watch for me right now is what this does. Otherwise, I'm waiting for news. Nothing else that's up enough on the day. Good luck to you today, NCDs. Yeah, it certainly was a wild one, that's for sure. Some sellers popping up on the ask. A bit thickly traded. Yeah, I see some 5,000 share sellers. I'll take a position there. Stop is 420 because we bounced back up off of 420 there. We had a lot of buying support. 50 shares. A little bit of time. This is our top leading gainer and it's going to be in Trader's Focus right now. So I want to take my first profit around 450 if I can, risking 10 cents to make 20 cents. Unless I see some sort of exit indicator. So I gotta keep watching the level 2. A little bit of a topping tail. We're just grinding higher. We'll see. I think it's good. It'll probably make a second attempt up to 450. I'm just being patient. I'll try and sell half ask into the move here if I can. The strength. We're struggling. It's just kind of a grinder. And 24 shares set at 445. Yeah, I think I'm just getting out. It's too grindy. At a certain point, like, I gave it enough time to pull away and it's not pulling away. So I mean, a 10-cent winner is a start, but no, I don't trade large caps. I only trade small caps. My stock selection is a float less than 20 million shares, but preferring less than 10 million shares on prices between $2 and $20. So this certainly doesn't trade like a 360,000 share float. It's a bit feels a bit too thickly traded for that to be true. Oh, really? According to Charts Watcher, it's 360,000. So it would make more sense for it to be a higher float, but even 3 million shares isn't that high of a float. What does it say on TradingView, I wonder? Uh, market. Oops. This is Nui. TradingView says 360,000 as well. Let's see what TradeZero says. TradeZero says 3 million. I'd be more inclined to believe that this is a 3 million share float based on how it's going. Webull says 506k. You see 400k. Yeah, I'm not sure which one is correct. Hey Tig, but I'm thinking that this is probably a higher float based on how it's trading. I mean, yeah, 3 million's still low. It's just both things can be true. It can be a low float and it can also be thickly traded, a thickly traded grinder. It needs to pull away, I think. Maybe if it breaks 450, it'll start pulling away. Yahoo Finance has 60K. This float with 60K, Ross could buy it in a single position. He could be the owner of a company tomorrow. Yeah, I did. My dog went to the vet the other day, so he's all good. So he didn't wake me up at all. Yeah, 450 is definitely a level, and then high of day. We're kind of trading in this range. It hasn't hit, it's not hitting against the bottom of the range, but 422 is also looking like a range, being the top of this candle and the bottom of these candles. I do think that potentially if we break 450, then we have a chance. But MACD's negative right now. It breaks down. Let's see, maybe it does a false break. They say that there is a strategy where if you're trading within a range like this, and it does a false breakdown, and it fails to continue lower and gets bought back up here above 422, then your buy would be, above 422, stop of the low of the range, and then your target is like the high of the range. I forget what strategy that's called. But that might be a bit more reliable for regular market hours. I think that's a regular market hour strategy. So like here, it breaks back up. So if you bought, then the target would be high of the range, expecting it to, since it was a false breakdown. I'm curious to see if that would work this time. I'm not going to take a position on it. It's not part of my strategies. Hey, Kennedy. Yes, I am. I took uh, I took his courses and stuff, and I spent a long time watching him in his streams. I'm going on my 1 year anniversary starting 2 days when August rolls over. But I haven't been keeping a stream up on the side recently because I'm trying to rely on myself and stop looking at his stream, letting it affect me. MACD's still negative. This is kind of a 5-minute bull flag of 440. Cup and handle. Yeah, it could be. Nice job, Jordan. Yeah, that's what I would do. Sell half at your target or 2R. And then I have a sell break even stop limit keybind that I use occasionally. Stop limit 3 cents above my average cost basis on the bid. Ends up being break even, kind of a stop break even limit order. Morning, Rafi. 822 is the high of that. Is XRS moving? XRX? It's showing 100 million shares for me. The float. Green Day? Not yet. Not until we hit 930. But so far, first trade 10 cents. I'm not going to get complacent because I could lose that in an instant. Got to focus on the process. Morning, Fukuro. Going well today so far. It's a bit slow. Nui's a bit of a grinder here. Kind of just waiting for 7:30 in 30 seconds here. See if we get anything. Morning, Vito. Thanks, Tig. Morning, Kingman. Yeah, DFNS been going crazy. I guess since defense, it's a defense company, and we all know why that's going up. I'm watching for news. Background music? Well, I don't think I think a lot of people who trade have their own background music. So I don't want to have too much background noise for people. And it might also distract them because a lot of people are doing their own trading. There's also the issue of like demonetization. Well, I don't have that issue yet. I'm still a small creator, so I don't have any monetization, but I could get copyright struck if I start playing like music. In fact, one of my videos got copyright struck, even though there's literally no audio on it. They're getting pretty nasty about that these days. Like, they're just copyright striking anything. Like, the segment that they highlighted was literally like zero audio. I wasn't even talking. Thanks, Fukuro. Yeah, I gave the 7 a.m. pop a chance because sometimes it ends up pulling away if it's the only stock that's in focus. DFNS is probably not going to be traded by a lot of traders now because it's up over $80. DFNSW is just a sympathy stock, I think. And the other top 5 leading gainers just weren't being traded. So I thought that maybe it would pull away, but it just didn't. It was too grindy. Got 10 cents on it, but 1-to-1 risk reward, not the greatest. Yeah, exactly. Oh, is it really being still being traded? This gonna break $100? Hey, Center Star. Hey, Amira. XRX Bull Flag. Yeah, XRX is 110 million share float though. So this is a no trade stock for me. Regardless of what it does, I don't trade stocks that high of a float. Now this could be a sub VWAP trap on the 5 minute. Failing to break below 4. Comes back up. Breaks that 422 level again. And we could see it come back up to the highs, but MACD's close to crossing. But I kind of need to see this pull away. Start moving a bit quicker. Yeah, imagine if you bought DFNS down at $4. Swing traders be having a heyday on that one. Back a couple months ago when we had that Chinese stock rush, and you had, well, I guess that wouldn't help swing traders because it would go up in a day and then come back down within a day. But when those stocks were going up like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000% in a single day, people who buy maybe intraday and like holding for long periods of time. Hindsight is always 2020, but you always imagine like, wow, if I bought this down at 40 cents, some of them were literally starting at 40 cents and then going up to like $20. The $2,000 account size, you buy 4,000 shares, it goes up to $20. Crazy. Where the news at? Where the news at? 7:30 news came and went. Sometimes you can't help but fantasize though, if you could see the future. Like if I could have seen the future back in uh in 2020 and just bought Nvidia with all of my savings, and I'd be a multimillionaire today. Or what was that other stock that has been going crazy? Micron? This stock started at what? Like all the way back in 2020. This stock started at like $30. And it popped up to over $1,200 a share. That's insanity. And it's still going up. Well, it fell down, but it's going up today. On the daily, I guess it's fallen down now quite a bit. It's actually quite a big drop though. I guess there must have been some FOMO on this. And they overvalued it. 1,200, lost almost 40%. Yeah, 100% Cora. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. What's that saying that Ross likes to use? You don't think about where a taxi goes after you get out, but everyone thinks about where the stock goes after you exit your position or you leave for the day. That would probably be most people's profit targets. Well, I think $100 is already a pretty psychologically significant level for a lot of people to take profit. I have difficulty believing that it's like it broke, but like I think a lot of people are going to take profit here. If it does continue higher, then yeah, I guess next level. Well, on my chart, the daily 200 EMA is all the way up at 323. So I would think the next daily level would be like 110 back here, this peak. It already kind of almost reached that level and then pulled back, short just 2 points. You have 110, and you have maybe 119, and you have maybe 163. But this could be the top right here with this big topping tail wick. But I don't know. People might have said the same thing like back here. So Nui is breaking over that 422 level again in VWAP. Does it hold? Yeah, Nui's a little bit of a grinder. MACD just turned positive. This is this is the trouble with grindy stocks. I don't like trading them. Is because it takes a long time for it to go up even 10 cents, but it doesn't take a long time for it to slam down more than 10 cents sometimes. What was the range of this? 427 down to 414, so 13 cents. See how long it took just to reach that level. So your exposure risk is pretty high. The bulls take the stairs, the bears take the window. This is showing a 4.5 billion float. Does that correct? It doesn't seem correct. And Trade Zero is showing 400,000 share float. This is usually a low float stock, and it did a recent reverse split. I don't know why ChartsWatcher is showing 4.5 billion. So this made a move a couple of days ago, all the way up to 6. I feel like we're kind of on the back side of the move here, or we're on the daily at least. I suppose the daily, this would be first daily candle to make a new high above 330. But it's pretty far pullback. I just don't know if this has the strength. Like, is the news really that exciting to people? I don't know anything about plant-based meat, but it's not something that I eat. Have a good day, adversary. kind of have a feeling that this is probably not going to pull away. And just because, I mean, I don't think the sector and stuff is very interesting. I think it pulled all the way back from 6 because it's not as interesting as people thought. Like it popped up on a reverse split. I could be wrong. Market's not always logical, but so we got 5 minutes, 8 a.m. Okay, so this is looking to try and break through that 430 level. There's a big 13,000 share seller that popped up there for a moment. think I hear thundering and lightning outside. So if I randomly drop stream, it might be because of thunder and lightning. Just so you guys are aware. Let me check the weather. Yeah, we got heavy rain right now for the next hour or so. Yeah, I agree, Fukuro. I'm waiting for it to pull away a bit more. I'd be more interested in it if it hopped over that 430 level and quickly ran up to 450. Or if it ran up and breaks 450. But it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty thickly traded right now. But we're at 8 a.m. here, so we might have some other news that'll take attention away from this. I have Trade Zero on my phone, so if power does go out, I have a backup plan to get out of the trade. Ooh. Oh, that's nasty, Jackknife. What happened there? Oh, I guess we had some 8 a.m. news on this that people didn't like. It doesn't look like bad news, though. Expands pediatric footprint with first Aquadex SmartFlow installations. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen the 8 a.m. news. Am I happier? Well, I like trading. I'm still struggling to get used to waking up at 6 a.m. every day because I've always been a night owl, especially because of my very first job um when I was 16. I worked that job for 8 years in banquets where there were a lot of weddings and stuff that happened overnight. So I would start later in the evening, then I would end up working nights. And just in general, for many years, I played games with my friends late into the night. So adjusting my schedule to try and wake up at 6 a.m. every day is a little bit difficult. And I don't even eat breakfast very often. Like I might have a little bit of a snack early in the morning, but I don't really eat breakfast because of my body. It doesn't feel hungry in the morning. But I like trading. I like getting up every day and trading. It gives me something to work towards, which I'm happy about. It gives me a goal in life, you know, become a trader, become self-sufficient. And I think anybody would be happy with that. Everyone needs some challenges and something to work towards in their life, I think. There aren't very many people who can be happy with just what they have and not want to challenge themselves, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm the type of person who likes having something to work towards and challenge themselves with. And I don't particularly love accounting. I went to business school for it and I got a degree for it, but I don't particularly like the blue collar, the white collar type of lifestyle. In an office all day, typing away on a keyboard. I'd much rather be self-employed. So that's why I trade. That's why I do writing as well. I do fiction writing, and I'm going to try to get a book published at some point. I would prefer to be self-employed. I'm in accounting audit. Morning, Momentum Trader. Yeah, it would be nice if trading was a different time of the day for me. Maybe somewhere if I have the opportunity to move, I'll move in a time zone where trading is a little bit later in the day, where 7 a.m. EST is actually 9 a.m. somewhere else. Wow. 9:30 is 5:30, so Pre-market would be 3:30. If you trade regular market hours, 5:30 seems like a good time. Everything is closed by then. You're probably home and you finish eating dinner. 3:30 is a little bit of an awkward time to start trading if you trade pre-market. But I suppose if you don't have a job, then you could trade and then make dinner after you finish trading. Have lunch and then start trading maybe after lunch. I suppose there are some people who sit down real early in the morning, right when pre-market opens at 4 a.m., which would be like right around lunchtime or right after lunchtime. I think it's better in the morning too, because if you have it early enough in the morning where you're comfortable waking up, and you can kind of finish trading and then go about the rest of your day. And if you're trading later at night, you might be more tired by then, rather than like just waking up, eating breakfast, and feeling refreshed in the morning. I suppose it would be a matter of preference. Do we have a retirement like 401k? We have RRSPs, but we don't have anything like 401k where our trading income is non-taxable. If you're a pattern, like a what Americans would call a pattern day trader, if you trade regularly with the intention to make a profit, the intention to earn business income, then that's taxed as business income. You can still get deductions by transferring some of that income into your tax-free savings or your RRSPs. But the bonus is that if I'm trading in a US account, I get the conversion gain, the exchange gain. So every dollar I make, every US dollar I make is 1.4 times Canadian dollars. Even though I get taxed on it, it kind of evens out. Because the buying power is about the same. Nine thirty is AM is 9:30 p.m. Holy smokes. You practically be going to bed like after you finish trading, you practically be going to bed if you have a bad day. Feeling angry. If you have a big red day, you wouldn't be able to sleep. I suppose the opposite would be true. If you're green, you go to bed with a smile. Yeah, I see it's grinding back up. The problem I have with Nui now is that we have this big jackknife. It could have just been ADM news that people didn't like. And now they're figuring out, well, the news isn't so bad, so it's going to grind back up. But I don't know about this one. It's going to have to break that 440, 450 level for me to be interested in it. Yeah, and then hopefully you don't have a job in the morning after not being able to sleep. Be dead at work. Then you get home and you got to try and keep yourself awake to trade. Hmm. What is Nui gonna do here? Gonna tweezer top? Well, Canada, if you have a decent income, is a really nice place to live, right? We got lots of campgrounds and lakes and trees and mountains to hike and hiking trails. If you like the outdoors lifestyle and the fresh air and the space. But it's pretty expensive to live here, especially if you live in some of the more urban areas. And if you like the urban lifestyle, there aren't as many amenities in some places. Like in my city, for example, there's not very much for in the ways of like restaurants and attractions and all that. But it is nice that we do have the healthcare. Don't have to worry if anything happens to us. How much money do you need to have a decent life in Canada? Well, we bought a me and my family bought a $484,000 home, and the monthly expenses on it are about $3,000 a month. So if you want to live, like if you consider a decent life, being able to own a home that's nice, that was a two-bedroom upstairs with a kitchen and a living room, and a one-bedroom downstairs with a laundry room and like a backyard. Like a nice home, not a big home, decent sized home. So, I mean, $3,000 a month plus you got to pay for whatever else you got to pay for, right? Groceries, gas, groceries are really expensive. I'd say if you wanted to live in a home like that, if you're living in it alone, then you would need probably like $5,000 of income a month. So probably over 100 grand a year you need to make an income. Maybe like 110,000, 120,000. Otherwise you gotta share with somebody. Like if you want to own a home, then you gotta split it with somebody because most people don't make over $100,000 of income. Now 3,000 are the house expenses. Like that's property tax, insurance, mortgage payments, utilities. So 3,000 plus you got to pay for groceries and whatever else you need to pay for. You probably need upwards of $5,000 of income to be able to pay for it a month. But even then, that's stretching it a little bit because groceries are so dang expensive. Probably 5,500 to 6,000 a month. So yeah, like upwards of 100 grand a year. PN's a little bit too expensive. Uh, there's no blue sky on PN. PN's blue sky is above $90, 88, $89. It is above the 200 moving average, but it's still very light volume here. I don't see any news on it. I don't think I'm interested in that. CYCU has some news at 820. It's a bit too cheap. Cheap with a 10 million share float. It's a lot of volume. Pretty sure if I opened up the level 2 on PN, it would be huge spreads, right? 30-cent spreads. 20 to 30-cent spreads. I think I'm going to leave PN alone. It's outside of my risk tolerance, I think. Spreads are too big. My volume's too light. I could be down $1 a share in an instant if I'm not careful on this. Be careful if you trade that. We got about 4 minutes to 8:30. Nice job, Bullseye. Yeah, it's got a bit of a window up to 40. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Coulda, woulda, shoulda on DFNS. You'd be at 50 points. Kind of crazy that it went up that much. But it looks like it's coming back down now, as I kind of estimated. 100 points is pretty big psychological level of resistance. Could still curl back up, who knows, but I think it might be over. That's usually the right move, is to sell it and cut the loss before it's too big, because anything could happen, really. It also could have went back down to zero, or back down to $4 where it started, because the market can do anything. So I wonder what Nui's gonna do. Been consolidating for quite a long time. Have to see if we get any news here at 8:30. Why does PN have? PN has some news. Isn't that interesting? The stock starts moving before the news comes out. Wonder why that is. So Nui suddenly breaks through there. So it's breaking through high of day. We'll take a position. Stop is 480. Take some profit up here at 550. We're in the driver's seat right now. So we got in on that pop on that micro pullback. The low was 520 or so. See if it can continue. Take a little bit more profit up here. So we took half so far. We're just being patient. We're a little bit extended up here. The high was about 566. The low of this pullback was about 520. We seem to be holding 520, 525. I'll add 20 shares here. Stop is going to be just below 520. I'll set it to 519, 518. So we'll see if we get the pop back up to 560. So take some profit as it pops up there. We'll let it run a bit longer. Take some more profit. That's a big pullback, and take the rest. It's a big drop there. Damn, I thought that was going to go up more. But that was a really big drop all the way back down to 529. But I think we traded that well. Hopefully you guys got that those pullbacks there. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Kingman. So now we have this big topping tail and that big rejection up there. So the chart's a little bit ruined now. Like we're continuing to hold 520, but I'm not sure if we're going to continue. That might have been the high there for this one. Oh, you chased it? Dang. I'll recap my trade there for you guys. So it popped up over high of day. That's one of our edges, right? Is moving quickly and making new highs. So it made a new high. It did a pullback there with a low of 480. So we did an ABCD pattern here. And I was thinking stop is the low of the pullback, which is 480. So I bought in at 494 for the ABCD pattern, first candle to make a new high. Anticipate the squeeze through 5. It immediately ripped all the way up there. So I took some profit, half profit up at 550 as it was stalling out. And I identified the next low of the pullback to be 520. So I continued holding because there wasn't any exit indicators yet. We had a little bit of a topping tail, but there was nothing to suggest that this couldn't come back up and retest 560 or continue higher. So I just held, and then I saw that it bounced back up through 520, like it continued holding the low. So I added just 20 shares to the position, just extra small size. And it rips all the way up to $6 there, right as I add back a little bit. Took some profit up at 568 as it broke through high of day there. Took a little bit more off as it was pulling back, and then took the rest as it started forming that huge rejection candle. Thanks, Eli. This is what I should be trading like. Like 90% of the time, I should be trading like this. But we gotta not get overconfident. Yeah, it's really hard to keep your emotions in check to trade like that. So I have to find my Zen zone again. Just because we got a winning trade, we got a nice big green trade. This is the first big green trade I've had in a while. But gotta calm down, not let it affect me if we get any more opportunities on this. Right now, there's no opportunities. We're just gonna chill out. Yeah, that's exactly right, Lauren. We gotta, as traders, we gotta pay attention to our emotions both ways. So when we're on the negative and a red streak, then we're gonna be underconfident. We're gonna be under executing, and then when we start getting on a green streak or we start getting some nice green trades, and we get overconfident, and then we start getting reckless. So I don't wanna get reckless. I wanna continue trading my strategy as it is. Maybe till you ended 54 in the red and you made it back. Nice. $8 in the green. That's good. Nice job. You must have got a good trade on that there too then, Vito. Thanks, Momentum Trader. I'm not sure if I already said thanks to you. You got yours from 560 to 580 or 550. Got a nice 30-cent winner on it. So we have a little bit of a pivot above 563. It seems like we got pretty heavy selling up here though, because it pops up there and then it has a big selling candle, slamming it right back down. 593 was our high of day. It could be just a pop and a consolidation. I'm not sure. It looks like it's holding the 9 EMA for now. MACD's getting close to crossing over, but it is possible that if it breaks 563, which is this pivot here, or maybe 566, in the high of this candle back here, it could give us another pop. It's got really, really heavy selling up there. As soon as it touched 569, it just got slammed down. I think it's probably done. Yeah, the Fisk 132 I thought so as well. And so I redacted my tape for a while, my level 2. Like if you go and look back at some of my older streams, I when I'm not in a simulator, I used to redact the tape because I was worried about that. Because I did remember Ross saying that. But I got permission from Trade Zero. I contacted customer support and I asked them if it was okay to stream level 2 data, and they said it was okay. I just wanted to be transparent that, like, you know, there's a lot of fake gurus out there who are like faking their profitability and stuff, and they don't show everything. I want to be able to show everything, so I asked them if I could. I'll check if Ross was in it or not. I have to open up his stream. I'm gonna guess he was. Ross is always green. If I could trade it and make money on it, he probably traded it and made money on it. Yep, looks like he traded it. He also got in on PN and lost on PN. He was down, what is that? 5 grand on PN, and he's up 26 grand on Nui. He traded huge size. He got in with 45,000 shares? Or is that more than that? No, he got in with 60,000 shares on Nui. More than 60,000 shares. How many shares is that? 30, 55. He got in with like 80,000 shares. I mean, it makes me feel like if I look back at my position ad back here, maybe I could have added a little bit more than just 20 shares. I started with 100, sold half. Maybe I could have added back 50 instead of 20. I was just being cautious though, because it was consolidating for quite a long time. But I could have maybe added back a little bit more than just 20. I think 100, I mean 100 shares is right for me right now though, for a starter position. Because I'm trying to trade smaller share size. I was comfortable trading 100 because the ranges on this weren't very big. I think adding more to the position than just small share size in the future is going to have to be a long-term endeavor to try and make my green days bigger and bigger over time as I get more confident with the setups. Yeah, hindsight's 2020, but I think the important thing right now is I was capable of adding to the winner, right? Being patient, adding to the winner. Thanks, Fukuro. So this is on the backside now, so there's no trades here. So we're gonna wait for the next thing to pop up if we get any news at 9 or 9:30, 9:15. You don't have 25% sell or 50% sell. Well, that's the reason why I didn't start using Webull. Webull Canada, right after people started mentioning it, I opened up a Webull Canada account and I looked around and tested out a little bit, and it just had basic hotkeys, buy, bid, sell, ask. Couldn't really do much more with that I saw in Webull Canada. So I just I didn't trade with it, or I don't even want to practice trading with it if I don't have those hotkeys, because paying myself is part of my strategy when I reach 2R. I'm using TradeZero Canada right now. Thanks to Fisk. I welcome anyone who wants to tune in. We just had a big streak of red days, so I was getting a little bit frustrated. My stream title yesterday was that I was starting to get frustrated because I was missing so many opportunities, and I still have the tally on the side here to remind me that just this week alone I've missed 7 opportunities because of my hesitation. But I think as long as I can continue trusting myself to take entries like the one that I just took, that hesitation should eventually go away. Over hundreds of trades, if I'm net profitable, then I'll know that my execution is profitable. So we got 6 minutes to 9 a.m. We'll see if we get anything else. Have your hotkey layout with DAS, but you can't afford it. Oh yeah, DAS is probably expensive, right? I wish I had access to something like DAS to test, but Canada doesn't have very much, unfortunately. Yeah, Weeble's still good for most people, I think, especially because it's commission free. I'm not gonna say it's terrible. I just don't like that I don't have access to all of the tools that I have with TradeZero. Thanks, Muhiz. Muhiz Trades. At least you're green, Fukuro. Green is good. Yeah, if you're over trading bullseyes, then I suppose just make sure you're checking your stock selection. Stock selection, and then with the position of the stock and MACD. Those are the 3 things that help me with my overtrading. If MACD is not positive, we don't trade it. Except under exceptional circumstances, like very occasional circumstances. If it doesn't meet our criteria, we don't trade it. And if it's not doing something, if it's not moving, it's just consolidating, then I don't trade it. That helped me. Last few weeks have been rough. Yeah, it has been a little bit rough. We've been getting like, it feels kind of like a drought with the occasional rainfall. We get like a stock that pops up 200, 300% and then just rolls over. If you don't catch the move, if you don't catch the opportunities and when they're presented to you, then you're kind of stuck. Last few weeks have been rough. Used DAS with ST Global Markets. Is that I've seen some level twos have that like flashy sort of level two where they don't it's not like falling down in real time like it does here on TradeZero. It's more like it's at like 1 or 2 second intervals. It just flashes the tape. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh yeah, for sure, Jordan. It's not about the money right now. It's about proving consistent profitability before you size up. Trading with small size, like one share, it doesn't matter how many shares, one share, 10 share, 20 shares, 100 shares. What matters is that you can prove consistent profitability with it, and then you slowly size up to test your emotions. And if your emotions suddenly start fluctuating when you get to a certain size, then you kind of stay at that size until you get desensitized to it and can continue testing profitability to extend your runway as much as possible. That's what I'm doing right now. Somebody on my YouTube channel mentioned like, oh, well, I should just trade with one share or 10 shares. I should go back to one share. And the reason I don't do that is similar to why I don't go back to the simulator right now anymore, or why I did go back for a few days and I'm like, I don't really want to trade in the simulator anymore because I want to trade with a share size that is testing my emotions so that I can overcome them and be desensitized to them. Even though I'm not profitable, I can afford it. If I'm losing just a little bit here and there, not that bad. But definitely it's good to trade with small size in a range that you can afford at a range that's going to test your emotions. That's how I feel about it. It's about the process, not the money, for sure, but what you can find in your statistics. This is curling back up. MACD's turning positive. We have had a bunch of stocks pop before when it does this. They suddenly just rip. It's 9 a.m. as well, so we have to watch out for 9 a.m. news. Oh yeah, I think Ross supposedly says that he usually starts with small size just to test the waters on most days to get a cushion, and then he sizes up after the cushion. But if he never if he never gets green, then he never sizes up. But I wasn't watching his stream, but today he like trades 60,000 shares after losing on, or what was it, 80,000 shares? Oh, 60,000. 70,000 or something. I don't remember. After losing on PN. So I don't know. Maybe that's just because he's green on the month. Because he does say that he also sizes up into the week, into the month, into the year. As he gets greener and greener. I'm a little bit confused about his position sizing sometimes, but it generally makes sense that if you start the day at like a small share size to get a cushion and you never size up, then it's a rule that I used to adhere to, and I still kind of do adhere to. Like if I get another really good opportunity, then I do have a cushion to size up now. $61. I could theoretically do that. As long as I'm not being overconfident and taking stupid trades with my cushion. I stream at 7 a.m. every day Eastern time. So 9 a.m. come and gone, and I don't see anything on the scans. So it might be that Nui was our only opportunity today. My total accuracy isn't very good. It's very poor right now. Like probably between 30 and 40%. Last I checked, well, overall, over 200 trades, my accuracy is probably above 40%, but in the past, like 30, 40 days, my accuracy has been very poor. Because for some reason, psychologically, I've been getting in on the backside of the moves. Like I miss opportunities when they're good opportunities, and then I just end up on the backside of the move, trading frustrated sometimes. But my profit loss ratio has been very good because when I'm right, I'm right. When I get into a winning trade, I can be patient with it and let my winners run. But when I get into a losing trade, I have no issue cutting it immediately. So my accuracy is terrible, and that's what I'm working on. But my profit loss ratio is good because I can cut my losers and let my winners run. Yeah, no problem. What is trade the pool? Oh, darn Tig. Yeah, you missed the pop on Nui. Oh, interesting. All right, have a good one, Vito. Boss B, are you asking me if I'm satisfied with Trade the Pool, or are you asking Bullseye? 'Cause I don't trade with any prop firms. I see PNs continuing to pop up here, but I don't trade stocks above $20, and this is like right on the edge of it. It's just gonna be too risky for me. I'm not interested in PN. Spreads are gonna be huge. I'm good. What do I think of Trade the Pool of like prop firm stuff? I really couldn't give you an answer about that because I've never looked too much into prop firms other than some of the things that Ross has said about them before. Ross, I don't think, has a very good opinion about a lot of prop firms. I think it depends on which one. So I don't think I can really give um a reliable answer. There are some prop firms that are more well known than other ones that will actually help you learn how to trade a specific strategy, and they have a lot of resources at your disposal. But I think a bunch of them, a bunch of the reliable ones require you to actually like go there and work in their office and stuff on the floor. But I'm not sure about the other prop firms that will just kind of test anyone and everyone. I don't know. $25K account, max loss 1K, daily pause. Hmm. How do I manage my risk? So, according to my rules, my maximum risk is about 2% of my account size, which is $2,000. So, my maximum risk should be $40 on any given trade. So, that means that if I'm risking, say, 20 cents, then my maximum position size is 200 shares. Do I trade 200 shares on every trade? No, I don't. Sometimes I trade quarter size. Sometimes I trade half size. Mostly when like I am trading kind of quarter size and half size right now because I'm still in a phase where I'm not consistently profitable, so I don't want to size up too much and lose too much money. But if I were consistently profitable, then that would be my max size for anything like six to $8 probably, because the ranges are a little bit smaller on the lower price stocks between like $2 and $5. The max position size might be like um 400 shares, say like risking 10 cents. If I'm trading a penny stock, I don't usually trade penny stocks. If I trade under $2, and it might be 800 shares, risking 5 cents. And then above $9, ranges and spreads are going to be bigger, so I'll be probably risking 50 cents a share in any given trade. So I would trade like maybe 80 shares max size. But I generally manage it by identifying levels of support, maybe like the low of a pullback. When I get into a trade, if it's 15, 20 cents away from my entry, then I might only take 50 shares, quarter size, for example. Profit target of 40 cents. The Bruce Lee approach, 100%. That's what Ross always says. Get good at one thing, and once you master it, then you can branch out to other things because you have a backbone to support you. If you're confident with one thing, I mean, there's another benefit there. If you're confident with one thing and you find that you finally have some success with it and you start branching out to other things, if you start losing money, you can always kind of retreat back and go back to what you're good with to get that confidence back, and then continue learning after you get that confidence back. Those other setups as you continue developing yourself as a trader. There's another saying, I suppose. The man who hunts 2 rabbits catches none. 2 rabbits at once catches none. You got to catch the first rabbit, and then once you catch it, then you go after the second one. My most confident setup used to be 1 minute pullback patterns, like 1 minute bull flag, 1 minute ABCD, but they really have not been appearing very often. Like, it's very rare to see them now because we get our breaking news, our first 3 1 minute candle extensions, and then the stock just rolls over. So I've been forced to step out of my comfort zone and learn micro pullbacks. Like, I suppose this right here could be considered a bull flag, but this is more of a 1 minute micro pullback than a bull flag. Since the second candle didn't finish consolidating, it kind of just ripped. And then now it's just rolling over. So, oops, do that. So PN potentially breaking 20. I'm still holding on to my stock selection with this one. I'm just not touching it. I'm good. Even if it rips up to $50, I do not care. I'll watch Ross getting in. Ross is taking a position on it right now. He got in for the break of 20. He's getting a little bit of his loss back from it. Just took 6,000 shares on that entry for the break of 20. Exactly. I'm not I don't feel FOMO anymore on stocks outside of my stock selection. That is one thing I've improved on as well. If it's outside of my stock selection and it's ripping up, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Because I know that on average when I trade up here in these price ranges, I'm just going to lose money in the long term. Why would I trade it? Spreads are huge. Good. Yeah, he made back a little bit of his loss there, but he certainly didn't make back very much. He made $1,000 on that. He's still down 5 grand on the stock. Yeah. Once you trade long enough to see your statistics and you understand that you lose more on higher priced and lower priced stocks, and you find your sweet spot, then you know that generally, like what Ross, I've traded long enough to confirm Ross's um, ideologies about stock selection. Some people do really well with penny stocks. I don't do well with penny stocks. So I kind of just don't trade them. And I have been doing better with higher price stocks recently as I've been trading with smaller share size and letting them run a little bit more. But anything above $20 is a no-go for me. Above $10 to $15 is kind of like, yeah, it's okay. Still willing to trade in that range. But performance varies on those. I don't even think Ross really. I don't know. I don't know what Ross does with his stops recently. Whenever I watch him, sometimes he kind of just believes in a stock to work. Like I'll watch him. Well, he did get smoked recently for holding and hoping in his red day recently. So maybe he's going to be a little bit tighter on his stops now for a little bit. But sometimes he's just kind of like he's holding and holding and holding when he believes in something, and he's willing to let it run a little bit longer because he has so much of a cushion on the day or the week or the month, or he's just a millionaire trader, so he can afford to let them run a little bit longer. I don't think he uses hard stops anymore. He does have risk management, but I don't know, it's hard for me to tell what his risk management is because it's nothing like consistent. His risk management, like he cuts his losers eventually, but he doesn't have like hard rules for it. because he's so good at capturing the upside portion of the risk reward. And he really believes in himself most of the time. It is kind of confusing. I don't know if anyone else has any like idea if they watch his streams regularly, like what exactly he's doing, if he's doing something consistently. I know what he says and what he teaches, and he teaches good risk management, but sometimes on his stream he just kind of lets the positions run for a long time recently. He believes in his tailwind. Risk bottom of the candle. It could be. I mean, he could be using the 1 minute chart. I don't know. I don't think he has like. I think he knows what his risk management is, but sometimes he gets a little bit stubborn on them. Sometimes he cuts them really quick. I think he's more of an intuitive trader. He teaches good risk management, but I think he's more of an intuitive trader at this point because he's traded for 20 years. That's why it's difficult for beginners like us to really understand like what exactly he's doing. Sometimes he cuts it really fast. Sometimes he holds it for 1, 2, 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, as he's like in a losing position, down 50 cents. And he's like, this is going to work. I know this is going to work. So, I mean, like, he's, you know, he's making money. So whatever he's doing is working. But he's aware that what he's doing can't be replicated, so he teaches proper risk management. Yeah, it might be level 2. It could be. It could be just level 2. Just 20 years of level 2 reading. Yeah, I agree, Bullseye. I think I've talked a little bit about it before, but what I did to develop my ability to cut losses, to manage my risk, if you have a problem with holding and hoping, and you have a problem with hesitating to cut your losses, what I did for a while to reinforce that habit was I focused on my entries for a while, and every single trade I set an arbitrary 5 or 10 cent stop. I took my trades very seriously, that I still wanted them to be good trades, but I set an arbitrary 5 or 10 cent stop, intending to get in as price is going up. Um, and just if it touches my stop, like I'll have my eye on the ask, and if it even remotely touches my stop, I'm just out instantly. Every trade. It didn't matter the profitability. What mattered was that I'm getting in, the trade is immediately going in my favor, and if it doesn't, then I cut my loss. And I did that for like 3 weeks. Didn't care what my profitability was. I was aware that I was getting stopped out early on a lot of trades. It didn't matter. I just needed to develop the habit. And then once I developed the habit, then I could start building on that habit. Like, okay, now instead of just an arbitrary stop, as I get in, now that I have the habit, let's set the stop to something that makes sense. And then I started setting it to like, psychological levels of support, setting it to the 9 EMA. And since I had started building that habit of cutting it, once it touched that level, then I could just cut it no problem. And then as I continued to build on that, then I started thinking about profit targets. So the opposite side of the spectrum. Now that I had a habit of cutting my losses, now I needed to start thinking about the reward side of the equation. And that's how I started letting myself have my winners run longer. As long as I was confident about the fact that I could cut my stop, cut my losses, then I could kind of just let the trade work until it reaches my profit. And so, like for my profit targets, it would be high of day, levels of psychological resistance, other daily levels of resistance, how far I think that the stock can move depending on its ranges and depending on how much I'm risking. To take maybe half or a third profit at 2R, double what I'm risking. And then I can just let the trade run as long as it's continuing to have momentum and there aren't any exit indicators. Thanks, Jordan. So, I mean, yesterday I kind of stayed and traded at the open and I lost money. I think that trading at the open, I don't like trading halts when things are just halting around everywhere. And things are a little bit different at the open. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue trading here. We'll see. Probably a good choice, the Fisk. If I look at the top 5 leading gainers, I'm not interested in STKH, and I'm not interested in PN. It's too high priced. DFNSW is just a sympathy stock. DFNS is too high priced. So the only thing is NUI, and if it breaks, maybe this pivot here at 534, 540, maybe it could come back and curl back up. I mean, NUI would be the only thing to watch. I mean, where are we at on the daily here? Yeah, I mean, if it breaks above 593 high day, it has room up until 750, and then we're in a gap up to 13. I mean, this does have a lot of potential. We'll see what it does. If it gives me an opportunity above, like if it consolidates near high of day and it gives me an opportunity, I might consider it, but halt level is up at 622. I don't trade the first few minutes of the open because it's too choppy. breaking high of day, but we have higher volume selling on the 10-second right now. Wicks out through 560. I think we've got a lot of selling pressure up here. Although the selling volume on the 1 minute candle is lighter, every time it's popping up there a little bit, it's getting slammed back down here at the 620 level. We've got higher volume selling pretty consistently on the 10-second. Yeah. I think I'm done for the day. I don't think I'm going to trade this. Looks like there's too much selling pressure up here at 620. So I don't think there's anything else I'm interested in either. Let's take a look at the scans. STKH. Yeah, I see it's breaking through the high there. It's still a little bit on the backside of this move, which was had a high of 630 a few days ago, a couple days ago. But you could call this a curl back up. Like this would be like kind of a curling pattern. Have a good one, Jordan. You wouldn't touch it until it breaks 6 convincingly. I think it's a little bit of a meme stock, to be honest. And look at it. Look at this drop. I mean, what is? I said earlier that. I mean, what is this premium plant-based meat? I mean, I don't eat plant-based meat. Who here eats plant-based meat? Is this the next big thing? Like, why are people getting excited about this? Like, why is this going up? That's what I'm concerned about. Have a good one, Fisk. So, I think I'm done. I don't think there's anything that I want to trade here at the open. So we'll call it with a nice $61.92 green day. That'll bring us up to net profitable on the week, I guess. So hopefully we can do well tomorrow as well. But have a good one, Kingman. Have a good one, Momentum Trader. Yep, I'll shut it down though. Be back at it again tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, take care, stay green. See you next time. Peace.